The truest phrase is like the best camera is the one that you have with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the iPhone is the most popular camera in the world by far.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Cool.
It's good that we get to finally sit down and hang out a bit.
Cheers.
Yeah, right?
To flavored water.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Sitting here with Eric Gillespie. He's a good friend, a former employee. He's worked on all sorts of stuff from, I don't know, you tell me things that you
to other things. Yeah. Television, short films, a lot of action sports kind of realms stuff. Some for branding, some for just fun. Snowboarding, skydiving.
Yeah.
A bit of underwater material. Scuba with cameras, freediving with cameras.
Yeah. What are some of the big companies that you've worked for?
Name drop? Google, Airbnb, this fruit company, a lot of the Silicon Valley like tech ones, as well as like Discovery Channel, History Channel, in kind of the TV realm, HGTV.
All sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. A very well padded resume.
All over the place, man.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I mean, the reason that you're here today is that we're running some tests on a couple of cameras. So we're doing a side-by-side of the Canon C50 and your Red
Epic.
That Red Epic.
It's so epic.
So epic. That you bought when?
2013, 14?
2013 or 2014. So you've had that thing for a hot minute now. Yeah.
Going on 13, 14 years.
Yeah. Do you still use it much?
Not as often as I would like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still a great camera, but it sees less use these days because it's just a bit more cumbersome. I find myself shooting is right now is content that I'm gathering for other pieces where a camera just needs to be flipped on in the moment and ready to run. And, this is relatively quick for a cinema camera, but still, mounting a few different components and then plugging bits in and 30-second or so boot up time. It adds up to a lot of missed shots if you're not in a realm where you're doing setups and planned takes,
It's more for like studio-based setup and rigs. It's not the run and gun quite as much as you need it to be.
I mean, it was initially marketed as like this run and gun cinema camera. It is a run and gun cinema
12,
camera.
13 years ago, yeah.
Sure. And things, I mean, like without, I guess, like the mirrorlesses of today, like that's really been its only competition. Like things have gotten smaller in the red realm, but I wouldn't say they're just flip on and go the way that, I think the A7S III came out and kind of dominated that market for a while until Canon came back with the R5, and that's been fantastic for us Canon guys. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole crux of this conversation is like the future of cinema technology, right? And where it was, 12, 13 years ago versus where it is now, and where you think it might be going in the future as well, because we're seeing
none of us are going to have jobs, Dave. We're so
I know AI is going to take over everything. We'll all be out of jobs. But I mean, I believe us creatives will always have a place, and I see that in my business as well. When I start working with the clients, a lot of them are just turned off by all of the AI generated images, the videos that people are trying to push on them. Yeah, it's super easy, but it just doesn't. It doesn't connect. It still has that. It's still missing that the uncanny valley. It's still not crossing that uncanny valley.
Sure, there is like a humanity that it's trying to tap into that it's not quite getting to, and that's causing this like rift of shittiness of the end product, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's gonna get better and better, and I think as things develop, we're probably gonna get to a space where it's been with Photoshop and other tools along the way where someone who does it really well, and we can tell that there's like humanity in the build or in how it was produced, like that's going to see traction.
Yeah.
What I worry about where I worry about being put out of a job is in terms of like on location filming. I worry that we're going to make AI plates for our jungle shoot rather than shoot it in the jungle. And sure, we'll still use human actors for portrayal, and sure, we'll use a human writer and stuff, but like I worry about that in the moment shooting, because I think that's what really gets the best out of an actor and ultimately gets you like more heart out of a story.
Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing a lot about this, especially recently.
Yeah.
I just watched a video from Corridor Crew where they were recreating the table shot from Fellowship of the Rings with the forced perspective and how they built that out. And one of the things that they were one of the things that they were talking about was how these visual effects houses are all going away. There isn't a single one left in the United States that still does physical visual effects for filmmaking anymore. Everything's moving to digital. And
Russian post houses, baby.
yeah, so we're just seeing this like changing of the guard basically. And to some things it's great, and to other things it's a detriment. But ultimately AI is just a tool, right? It all just depends on how you use it. Right. I mean, when Photoshop came out, everybody was all up in arms saying, this is the death of photography. This is going to kill photography. And ultimately, it's now just a tool that photographers use.
I just have to say, I do approve of South Park's use of AI.
Yeah.
That was good.
100%. We fully support that one.
Yeah.
Good job. But it's just a tool, right? Yeah. And it all just depends on how you use it. And ultimately, I think it's going to be just that. And that's how I'm using it. I'm using it to kind of supplement in aspects of my business that I don't want to do or I'm not good at, that it can help me out with. And it's helping me achieve where I want to be in certain ways. I'm just not using it to actually create visuals that I'm putting onto screens. Yeah. If that makes sense. But I'm excited to see the future of it. But I mean, as far as like camera technology goes, I mean, we've already seen this huge leap. Like, how much was your camera when you first purchased it?
Yeah, it was in the realm of like 38 grand with, I think battery handle and media, and wow, it was a chunk of change.
Yeah.
But it was a steal, at the time. I think it was like a $70,000 camera 6 months prior to that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, this is basically like a demo model that they were getting rid of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, woof, scoop that up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, but with technology, it's just growing at an exponential rate. It's really tough for anything technology-wise to retain its value over time. You can
get it now for $20 in a candy bar.
Yeah, right. And it's still a fantastic camera. Like, if you're a student or somebody who needs a good camera and wants some good production stuff, pick it up. Yeah, right. I mean, you could pick it up for cheaper than I bought my C50 for.
Yeah, but is it more useful than an iPhone?
And that's the other thing.
Does it fit in your pocket?
Exactly.
Is it with you at all times?
I mean,
does it have GPT installed? Does it sing lullabies?
The truest phrase is like, the best camera is the one that you have with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the iPhone is the most popular camera in the world by far. Yeah. So, but being us artistic folk, we want that greater quality. We want that control. We know what we can get with a longer lens or a wider open aperture, or
I would say especially us OCD artistic folk, perfectionistic on the gear nerd side of things. Yeah, we're always, the dragon that we're chasing is that perfect image or that infinitely manipulatable image, the one that you can do anything to in post, right?
Yeah. With infinite dynamic range.
Yeah. But that's what AI is trying to do. You know, you ask where camera technology is going. I think it's going more into the scientific realm and not into the creative realm because that's where it's needed most. Whereas I think a lot of companies are starting to invest in more of generative tools as this, like, I think the companies think that at some point that's gonna take over. So I don't think they're going to push as hard into sensor development and consumer cameras. Like,
well, I mean, to that point, we're seeing, yes, especially with sensor technology, it is getting a lot more clinical. Dynamic range is going up, pixel count is going up, and a lot of people are actually, a lot of creatives and filmmakers are moving away from the lenses that camera manufacturers tend to offer because they are too clinical. They're too crisp and too clear. People tend to want a little bit more characteristic, which, you know, led to, I believe, the rise of the budget anamorphic lenses in the cinema world. People wanted something different. They wanted that character. And these companies came in and filled that. I see, as far as camera technology and the cameras and sensors themselves, still moving towards that more clinical approach, but I'm seeing a lot of people wanting some character in their image, a character to their lenses.
You're definitely onto something. I think, like, as things get more sterile and clinical in production, as happened with digital, but we're seeing it, like you said, with generative imagery and stuff, that there's this conscious public yearning for real and raw and true and honest and human
authenticity.
In our day, we saw it with, like, the comeback of film and graininess and texture and, you know, earthy and vignettes and, like, you know, degraded images, basically, is like what we wanted.
Something gritty and raw.
It just felt real. So, like, you know, really, really thinking about that question, like, where is camera technology headed? And, like, I think whatever is going to give someone, like, an immersive, raw experience, not necessarily gritty quality, but, like, but I don't know. You know, we're already, like, streaming everything with our phones, right? Everyone's going to have, like, a 360 helmet cam, just like their POV, and, like, people can follow them and live in the day of the life of them. And you know, they go to work and serve ice cream or whatever, but it's just like, that's an experience that another human can have that is a real human experience. It's grotesque, but I could see it happen.
It's like, nobody wants this world.
Someone's going to spend this in a positive light, and it's going to be gross.
Nobody wants this in our world, but there's a lot of things happening in our world that we don't want. So, I mean, that leads to another point, is like social media and authenticity. And, you know, it feels like, so social media created this divide amongst people. And, you know, there's all these reports about people feeling more lonely these days because of social media. And, you know, we're isolating ourselves a bit more because it's easier to just pick up a phone and follow somebody. But that's who those people are following. So it's like this growth has developed through that isolation of social media to the point where people just want to connect with another person. So they follow these people, these creatives. You know, that's where people are getting this connection nowadays. And so branding and everything is moving towards that. They're seeing that people want that authenticity, they want that connection. So having this person that somebody likes and follows, you're more likely to buy from them, right? But
a group of market flocks to a segment like that, you get this, taking advantage of a culture's like realness.
Yeah. Oh, of course. It's like exploitation, right?
Yes.
And as soon as ad agencies are following the trend is usually dead by that point. Or if it's not, then it's the nail in the coffin of that trend.
I don't know, dude. I think it lasts for years. Like, it kind of goes with political climate too. Like,
yeah. How so?
I don't know. Look at the way like Target was like, pro DEI and then anti DEI, or like the companies flip flopping on like kind of brand value core held beliefs, if a brand has core held beliefs.
Yeah, those are so flippant these days anyway.
Well, corporations are people, don't forget
well, that shouldn't be, but we don't need to get into that. But I'm more referring to like small businesses and individual entrepreneurs. Because, the brands, big corporation, that's a whole other like world than, the barbershop down the street or the gym that the guy who just opened up his gym. I believe it affords those type of people the opportunity to really grow. But, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of figuring out. But the main thing is like sticking to who you are, that authenticity and that core message. As long as it's sticking with that core message, it gives people the room to grow. But most people have no idea how to do that or what to do or even where to begin. Or they'll go through spurts and be like, oh, I know I need to do social media, so let's just post up a couple things, and they do that for like 3 or 4 days and then they get tired of it because they're not seeing results. Whereas like this takes time and it builds up. Okay.
I was thinking about like, what do I want to happen with cameras? I want to see them keep getting smaller, like more portable. I'd love to have, like spy cameras with good quality. Like if I can put something on my fingertip, not to have it be inconspicuous, but just to get that point of view of like, tracing past a finger, grabbing a pencil from that angle. That's just freaking a setup with something like that and a probe lens,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You can do it, but like, man, it would be just so easy to just put a camera there.
Yeah, but in some cases, there are some physical limitations. I was thinking about this the other day. I would love to have a 16 to 200 f1.4 lens. It's technically possible, but the physicality of that just renders it impossible.
I don't know. I mean, if you're limited to a silicon substrate, if you're limited to a lot of other material constraints that we think are limits. But
very true. Well, and that makes me think of, what was that sensor technology that we saw a few years ago?
You're talking about Photonics West? Or like...
Yeah, Photonics West. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But they had the curved sensor technology. That really makes me interested in what the possibilities of that are, because all sensors are flat. They're just a flat sheet. I forget the company, but they were developing a curved sensor, which is interesting because obviously we see through our eyes, and our eyes are a curved sensor, to put it bluntly. So what could that look like? So, I mean, we're seeing lots of technology come in, especially with the smaller, more budget-friendly camera baseline, the prosumer, as you might call it. As we're seeing, Open Gate is finally starting to become a little bit more popular. My C50 has got it.
What does that do for the uninitiated?
So the Open Gate recording allows you to record video utilizing the entire 3x2 sensor. And most camera manufacturers in video mode crop their sensors down to a 16:9 aspect ratio. So you're actually losing it a little bit off of the top and the bottom there. So this allows you to record the entire 3x2 sensor width. Sensor width, sensor height. And it allows for ultimate cropping abilities.
Why would anyone close the gate?
That's an excellent question.
Yes.
It's probably because most TVs are stuck to a 16:9 aspect ratio. TVs, monitors, phones, everything's still kind of in a 16:9 aspect ratio. So they just figure, why not just film to that aspect ratio natively?
Fab one sensor and
but one fell 3x2.
Yeah.
So it baffles the line.
I mean, I feel like at least in GoPro's case, I think it was like data processing, and they could not do a full sensor readout in time.
Yeah, and
They still can't seem to without crashing my camera, but
well, and that is a limitation of my C50 as well, because in open gate recording, I can only do up to 30 frames per second, whereas I would really like 60 frames per second in open gate.
Yeah,
it's just not possible. It's only available in the RAW format.
Yeah, now I have a feeling like sensor sizes are pretty much limited by readout speeds and record rates, and those are getting better. 5 nanometer architecture.
Yeah.
1 nanometer architecture. I mean,
the C400, I think, will do 60 frames per second in open gate, because they're about to unlock open gating for the C400.
Okay.
So it's nice that Canon's actually like providing useful firmware updates to unlock new abilities in your camera.
Yeah.
But so a lot more camera manufacturers are starting to do open gate, which is great. But there's a lot of other things that I think us filmmakers and people who use these cameras really want out of these cameras.
Yeah.
Some like very, very useful stuff, like even just GPS tracking in your camera, which seems wild. Like or geolocating, because if I'm shooting with my phone, it geolocates and where that photo is taken.
Yeah.
So it can really help with archiving or doing anything like that, or any kind of like anti-theft protection that can be built into the camera. My camera now offers a pin to unlock the camera, but that's also really annoying.
I'm like, I don't know if I yours. Like,
fair enough.
I'm like, I think I know where the bottlenecks are in making cameras. Like, I'm like, give me more high frame rate, please. Like, yes, you can crop my sensor. Like, we'll work through it, guys. But like, give me the readout that you can give me in a smaller pixel group, like software for that. And if it becomes a thermal problem, then let's figure out how to make it bigger or fan it up. That seems to be what everyone does, but it comes back to this like set of specs that.
Well, it might be like a bit, because we're now only starting to see.
I would say that that's a thing you can sacrifice.
I mean, one of my biggest frustrations about the C50 is the open gate doesn't do 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
But you also can't record open gate in any other format other than RAW. So I believe if they were able to do an open gate recording in MP4 compressed format, in H.264, 265, whatever, then they might be able to get the processing to the point where you can achieve 60 frames per second. It's just you're not going to get it in RAW.
But then you're just sacrificing, like, so it's easier to write RAW. Like, you don't have to do any conversion to H.264. But on the back end of that, it is more data, it is more throughput. So, like, you're bottlenecked by throughput. So it's just trading off one thing for the other.
Yeah, and we are seeing more compressed RAW formats. The Canon has RAW standard and RAW light, which are lower bit rates.
So I think the thing that photographers are always going to argue over is like wear trade-offs.
And it's different for every photographer.
And that's why we have different cameras. Thank goodness.
Yeah. What other kind of features do you think you would find the most useful in camera, at least not saying?
I mean, for my particular style, variable frame rates and just small portable, and I'm not even saying like in one camera package, but I like small things that can go anywhere but are reliable. Like the downfall of GoPro, and a lot of that is that like you get short run times in any of these adverse environments that you're going to be running these things in. Like, you want to get it wet, you want to get it hot, you want to get it cold.
Yeah.
And you want a tiny battery to last you forever.
Yeah.
But in that package, give me something that can run for 30 seconds. That's all we need. If it's, that tiny, or
Yeah.
you know, I would love a small portable battery powered high frame rate camera.
Yeah.
Sensor, you know, doesn't even need to be that big, but the pixels do.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some of that kind of technology in the high-speed world. What was that company?
Photron. Okay.
Yeah, Photron.
Yeah.
So the really small Photron cameras, you know, they were maybe the size of my thumb, and they were recording at 1,000 frames per second.
Yeah.
With changeable lenses. But you know, it's a line
But-
system. It's just a sensor that has to project an image back to the recording media.
Cable to all these other things. I mean, it's like, I think that they did that with Top Gun. Like, you know, put a bunch of Sony or Venice like front ends, which
Yeah.
which I think was like the sensor plus a couple other things. But then, you know, they're cabling it back to media and readouts and like all this other componentry of the camera is just like somewhere else through a cable.
I mean, that's just the technology. As
Yeah.
chips get smaller, as batteries get smaller and last longer.
So maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Camera backpack
Yeah.
or a helmet cam that has
Yeah.
15 different, you know, cabled systems. And I have all these different points of view on.
It all has to be waterproof, and it all has to be able to go from 16 millimeters to 200 millimeters.
And then we spend the next 20 years trying to make it not look weird.
Yeah.
Turned it into
Figuring out how to actually use this.
sunglasses that utilize your existing neural pathways and structures to send information.
Figure out how to make this monstrosity of a camera work.
Yeah.
You got the capital? Invest in us. If you have money, we have ideas.
That's not how it works on YouTube. You got to pretend you're already rich.
Yeah.
And be like, I made millions
Yeah.
by
But I'm not spending
switching to
my
avocados.
Because that's how real rich people do it. Cool. I think that's about it. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining me here.
Lovely working with you,
yes,
sir.
Excellent.
Yes.
Where can people follow you?
You know, on the street, at the grocery store,
In these streets?
in the streets, Frame Mall.
Perfect.
Instagram is at Eagle Eye, spelled EGILEYE. Cool.
Bingo, bango.
And